Hello, I'm Johnny Rowland, your host of The Shooting Show, and this is my lovely wife, Heather, and we are, excuse me, we are indeed, I'll give you time to say hello next time. I sure will, I'll break so you can. And, you know, friends, we are a friendly program. This is a friendly project because our mission here with The Shooting Show is to show who we as gun owners really are and show how these guns work and just what shooting is about. And we've been doing that now for, this is our 8th year on the air nationwide. We want to welcome all you internet viewers. Again, we'll make our offer if you'd like a little better video than what most of us can get on the internet now, something certainly clearer. You can buy a copy of this program. This is program number 331. It's a lot of shows, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
My goodness. Well, over these 8 years, we've had the pleasure of doing all kinds of programs about black powder, about machine guns, about literally everything that goes bang. We hadn't had a tank on yet, but I'm waiting. Maybe somebody will show up with one.
Maybe. maybe ATF will come see us.
Well, no, let's hope they don't. Let's hope if ATF, they want to come out and shoot with us, that's fine, but we hope they don't bring their tanks. Anyway, friends, we are indeed very pleased to be here because we're here today in part because of your contributions in helping us stay on the air. So if you've sent a contribution, even if it was $5 or $3, even $1, you can pat yourselves on the back and say, yep, I'm helping the Shooting Show stay on the air, because that's how we're here. Our sponsors are very important, and please, friends, please remember our sponsors: Georgia Arms Ammunition, the great 1919 Browning conversions that NWI makes, the Israel Arms International, the great Model 5000. And tell you what, this is as good a 1911 as we've ever had come through here, and priced less expensive than most. We've got some kind of big bird up there. Well, friends, today we're going to go over some basic things on our program because we have a whole vast number of new viewers. And as of last week, we'd had people watch this program from 44 countries, and we appreciate you folks in other countries being there. We're glad to have you too. Our primary program is aimed at the American audience because a lot of you in other countries don't have a Second Amendment in your charter or in your Constitution. Here in our country we do. And our country was founded on the premise that the average person could be trusted. Trusted to vote, trusted to own guns, trusted to run their lives the way they saw fit. Now that's the premise of the United States of America, and that's what we're here trying to defend and trying to protect. We here in the United States are under the worst assault as to our personal liberty. Not just guns, we're also under assault on our freedom of speech, our freedom of religion. All kinds of things are under assault today. And if you're watching this program, we would imagine you're sympathetic to our cause. If you're not sympathetic, watch anyway. Maybe you'll learn something, and maybe you'll have some insight on just who we as shooters are. We hope that we can educate you, and honestly, if you're an anti-gun person watching this program, you need to get used to the fact that some of us that are free Americans are not going to give up our freedom, period. We're not going to do it. We're not going to give up our freedom. And our Constitution provides for the means by which we can keep our freedom. And it's not just guns. That's where our freedom of speech, our freedom to assemble, our freedom of religion, these things come in. And honestly, friends, we're in the greatest danger in losing our freedoms and our rights here, the greatest danger we have been in probably since the Revolutionary War. We fought world wars. We had a civil insurrection here in the mid-1800s, but we weren't really in a situation of losing our freedom at that time or in those times. Now we are. You know what, friends? If you want to see the Shooting Show continue on the air, you can help us by sitting down in the comfort of your home and writing a check to the Shooting Show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Dubberly, Louisiana. That zip code is 71024. If you'd like to help sponsor our program, you can by calling area 318-377-5189. If you'd like to find our program on the internet, if you're a satellite viewer or a cable viewer, you'd like to find us on the internet, here's how you can do it. It's at http:// sshow.home www.rowlands.ml.org. And my own personal email, if you want to email me, you can. And that address is j1rowland@aol.com. So again, j1rowland@aol.com. So certainly we look forward to hearing from all of you. We're glad to have you. And today we're going to cover some basics because there are a lot of you out there who don't know much about guns that are now watching our program for the first time. So we're going to cover some real basic things. We have some other things too on the program, but we're going to cover some real basics. And you know, we as enthusiasts, sometimes, you know, we cover so many things, and a lot of our pieces are somewhat technical. And we need to remember, if you're a real enthusiast, just bear with us here, because you're going to see some information that a lot of you already know, but you know, we've got to win over and explain ourselves, unfortunately, to so many people who don't know much about guns.
That's right. We want new people to pay attention and feel comfortable with firearms, and
that's right,
feel comfortable with operating them.
And if you're someone who is afraid of guns, I don't have a problem with that. If you don't know much about guns, you're afraid of them, that's fine, because you're teachable. And if you're afraid of guns, you won't pick one up and do crazy things with it. So that's fine. If you have a fear of fire, okay, because maybe we can avert that, or maybe we can do something about it here on this program. You know, we're wearing eye protection, and we always shoot with hearing protection. There's just no excuse for going out. You know, a gunshot, even if it's a .22, will damage your hearing if you do it a lot. It will damage your hearing, much less a shotgun or one of these Magnum handguns like this 41 Magnum. It will damage your hearing, so we always shoot with hearing protection, and we use eye protection because there's a chance that the gun could have a malfunction, or we could shoot something, the bullet could ricochet back and hit us.
Right.
Piece of lead, something, especially on steel targets, like we have some steel targets out here. And it just takes a tiny piece of lead. If it hits you on the arm or even hits you on the face, something, it's not going to hurt you, probably not going to do much damage. But if it hits you in the eye, it could blind you. So this is something. Shooting glasses are inexpensive. You can find them. You can find impact-resistant glasses at places like Walmart, at the safety stores. All the gun shops that I'm aware of normally stock some kind, and you can expect to pay anywhere from $5 to $10 for a pretty good pair of shooting glasses. You can spend it as much as you want. You can spend $50 or $100 if you want, but you can get some good ones for $10, $15, real good. So we're going to be looking at some things today that are very basic, that we think is important. I tell you, it's a great afternoon down here on the range. Some people were down here earlier. We were shooting, and we got good and hot, and had a great time out shooting. It is such a tremendous sport, a great skill to develop, and one of the few sports that actually you can train yourself. It might have an effect in saving your life or the life of someone you love, protecting yourself or your family. So we certainly encourage you. If you're new to watching our program, we're really glad you're here. I think we're going to have some things that will help you today. Well, let's get another shooting show underway. This is the Mossberg 590 with this great Van Comp barrel, and they're out there in California, and it is a tremendous piece of work, this Van Comp barrel. It's compensated. It is really a tremendous addition to any shotgun that you can get one for. And the good folks there at the Hans Vang, and they're loyal viewers of our program. We certainly appreciate them being there. We're proud to show their stuff here on the program. Well, let's take some buckshot in this 590. And we have some volunteer water bottles out here, and let's see what it looks like. Now friends, here it is. This is the IAI Model 5000 semi-automatic pistol, 1911 commander-sized, all-forged pistol from the good folks there at Houston, Texas, IAI. Let's see it in action. Friends, here it is up close. This is the same gun you have seen on the program from Israel Arms International under the Gall name, but what they want to do is make something a little easier to say, so we have a more Americanized name. You can see all the special features this gun has. The forward serrations on the slide, easy to see, front sight that won't come out, easy to see 3-dot sights, the custom finger groove grip, the beaver tail grip safety with the extension here, so you'll be sure and get a proper grip so the gun them will fire. All kinds of extras we would not normally expect to see on a service type gun. An extended magazine release here, a lightweight trigger, serrations on the trigger guard for those who prefer to shoot like so. It's really going to keep the gun from walking around there in your hand. You have an extended slide stop, an extended safety. Really terrific guns, all forging from the good people at IAI in Houston, Texas. These are commander-size semi-automatic pistols with all the bells and whistles at some fantastic pricing. Friends, these guns are going to retail under $500. Let's see it in action. All 1911 parts will interchange. Absolutely superior function, excellent accuracy for a service grade pistol, absolutely, from the good folks at IAI.
Remember, the Model 5000 is available in the great all-American caliber 45 ACP. It has the best price, it's the best product, all the bells and whistles, is available in two-tone and blue. For information, give them a call, 1-800-599-2561. Again, 1-800-599-2561, and be sure and tell them that you saw it on our show. And you know, these days when worldwide violence and terror are on the rise, being prepared is the key for survival. Instinctive Shooting International can help using the Israeli technique. They're offering classes there in Houston for qualified civilians and law enforcement personnel. They can also send trainers throughout the United States. For information, give them a call, 1-800-599-2561. Instinctive Shooting International, again, 1-800-599-2561.
Stay tuned for more of The Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Tell you what, friends, we're in there's some clouds over here on the horizon, but it's still real nice on the range. I know our light's fading a little bit. I think this is important. Remember, this is for people that, this particular segment is for new shooters or people that are new to guns in general. And we'll talk about several things here that I think are very important. As I said earlier, if you're a real enthusiast, well, you can just sit back and wait, please. We're always glad to have everyone, but this is important. You know, friends, what I'm holding here, this is a .357 Magnum revolver. This is a 45 ACP semi-automatic, and we show a lot of handguns on our program because For self-defense, a handgun, while it's not nearly as effective, say, as this 12-gauge shotgun, for the very reason you can carry a handgun with you. You can actually have it with you. Now then, someone might say, well, heck, I've got a shotgun, that's all I need. Well, let's think about something for a moment. Now, honestly, a shotgun is the ultimate defensive weapon. It's the ultimate weapon system, if you ask me. And this 12-gauge Mossberg is no exception. And true, in the dark, if you were in your bedroom and someone entered your home and you had an intruder and they were coming through your house, not many sounds can equal that particular sound, because most people understand that is the slide on a pump shotgun that is putting a round in the chamber. And believe me, this is the proper end to be on of a shotgun in any kind of confrontation. But we have to be realistic. We have to think about this. For example, we have our target set up here like this wall. Let's say that we're in a nighttime situation. Well, look, we have to take our flashlight here, and are we going to be able to pump our shotgun and hold our light at the same time? It's hard to do. So we're at a disadvantage. Let's say we went around this corner here, and follow me on around, if you will. Through this corner, we are handicapped to some degree because of the length of the shotgun. Well, if someone's standing here and we poke the gun barrel in first, well, what do they have to do? Just reach out and grab the barrel, and then we're in a wrestling match. And believe me, you don't want to be in a wrestling match with any firearm if you can help it. So this is a huge advantage, and we know that gun's unloaded. Our handgun it can be held back close to our body like so, our finger outside the trigger guard, ready for, we'll check here, we're unloaded, ready for instant use. Our finger can move right inside the trigger guard just that fast, just a split second. And now we can control our light with our other hand, and we can ease around and see. Now then, another tip, we never want to go around a corner like this. If we're inspecting a building or checking out our house, we think we might have an intruder. Maybe you called 911, maybe the police are all busy, and you have to do it yourself. Stay away from the edge and come around this corner like so, and look like so. So you can't be ambushed here from beside on the other side of this wall. So that's one place, just one advantage that a handgun really has, is portability and being able to see and control the light in one hand and the gun in the other. Now then, the difference in a revolver and a semi-automatic, let's take a look at that right now. Let's look at the concept of the revolver. This original concept has been around for many years. Actually, Sam Colt had the first practical revolver back in the 1830s. This is called a double action revolver, and we always check our guns. Typically we check them 3 times. We check them once to see if it's unloaded, twice to be sure that we saw what we did the first time, and 3 times as a fail-safe. So we actually check our guns 3 times to be sure it's unloaded. Now then, this gun has a swing-out cylinder, and we call it double action for this reason. This gun can either be thumb cocked, you can thumb cock the hammer and the trigger will release the hammer, or in this position, in the forward position, it will cock and release the hammer. That's where the double action comes in. So what we have here, we have, in this case, 6 shells carried in this mechanical cylinder, in a metal cylinder here, and as each shell is fired, it brings up another cartridge in place to be fired also. The revolvers, that's one of the reliability areas in a revolver. They're simple the way they work. They're very simple to manipulate. They're easy to check and see whether or not they're loaded. Now then, let's look at the basic type of semi-automatic, and we'll check it again, be sure it's unloaded. This is a semi-automatic, the Browning design, 1911. This one is actually an Israeli Model 5000, but it's made on the Browning design of 1911, and still, in my estimation, the best semi-automatic pistol design. What happens here is we have rounds loaded in a magazine that will be inserted in the grip or the frame of the gun, and what will happen, we're going to take it out to show, and what will happen when this gun is fired, the backward push of the shell going off will force the slide to the rear, ejecting the empty shell. It will pick up another one from the magazine and reload itself. That's why they're sometimes called self-loaders, because they load themselves, auto-loader. This is a semi-automatic design. It will go off one time per pull of the trigger, and then it will cock itself as it functions. Now then, something that's very important we want to cover today. A lot of people that are new to shooting, and be sure I have my earplugs in here because we're probably going to shoot. I'll show you something. They'll have the gun in battery here. A lot of people will take out the magazine, they'll see the bullets here, but they'll forget about that other cartridge that is where? That's in the chamber. They forget about the one that was left in the chamber. If you don't learn anything else from today's show, always we take the magazine out first, then we check the chamber by pulling it rearward and looking in the barrel in the chamber, by looking in there to be sure there's nothing in it. Okay, let's take another look at that, because like I said, if you don't learn anything else from today's program, this might be something that could save an injury. Who knows? But certainly might save your TV set or something that you happen to point the gun at if you were dry firing it. Okay, we're going to load the gun, and this particular gun is designed to be carried with the hammer cock and the safety locked on. Okay, now then, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to drop that magazine out. Now see, we have bullets in the magazine. And now we'll pull the slide to the rear and see about the bullet in the chamber. Very, very important, because if you forget about this one, see, your gun's still loaded. Some guns have a magazine safety, whereas it won't function with the magazine out of it, but you can't trust that magazine safety. We're just going to be safe, period. Now then, friends, this is not a clip. It is in actuality called a magazine. That's something that, excuse me, even some of the magazine manufacturers are now calling them clips, but that's really incorrect. It's a magazine. A clip is something else entirely, but a lot of folks now are calling magazines for semi-automatic or automatic guns clips, but we're going to be correct on this program. Now then, we've talked about the semi-automatic. Now for revolvers, you have a couple of options. You can load singly, like one in the chamber, one at a time, like so. And let's come in a little closer if we can. Or I'll show you this right here. This is called a speed loader. It's made by HKS. It has a little positive retainer here, and what you can do is line up a couple of the holes there in the revolver, and you turn it, and it loads all 6 rounds at one time. That's an option we have. The revolvers are simpler. And honestly, friends, if you're not going to shoot a lot, or you don't plan to be shooting on a regular basis, or maybe you're not mechanically inclined, I would much recommend a revolver for a lot of people over the semi-automatic, simply because its mechanism is simpler. The semi-automatics are fine if you're willing to spend the time and learn to properly use them, learn how they function. Friends, this is a full metal jacket bullet, meaning that the lead, like this is a lead bullet over here, is pure lead, and all the lead is covered. Lead is a useful material for bullets because it's very dense and it's relatively soft. It's a real good material for molding to use in bullets. This is fully covered with metal. That's where the term full metal jacket comes from. This is a lead bullet, and this is a hollow point bullet. This happens to be a .357 Magnum, but hollow points are available for most calibers, and this is a hollow point. And what happens is, when this bullet hits a target, it will mushroom and dump its energy much easier than, say, the solid type bullets, either this lead bullet here or this full metal jacket. We'll show you a little simple demonstration of this right now. Now then, friends, let's observe the target type but solid bullet on the water bottle here on the right. Now watch this. What it did, it penetrated, hole in here, hole out the back, but we didn't see a lot of shocking power and that bullet kept right on going. As a defensive type bullet, we want instant shot if at all possible. And here's where the hollow point comes in. We have a little greater velocity. Let's see about shooting an identical water bottle with a hollow point at a higher velocity too. Let's see what happens. Now then, a simple comparison, but an example of energy transfer, a much more dramatic energy transfer, and the bullet is not going to be overly penetrated. When you're buying ammunition for your gun, and let me put in a plug here for Georgia Arms, if you want the best ammunition that money can buy at discount house prices, I don't see how they do it, but you can call Georgia Arms with their free phone call, 1-800-64-6861, get a free catalog. And in fact, I'm sure that if you had a question, those folks down there would be able to answer your question about proper ammunition. But you can look on the side of your gun. It'll be marked somewhere on the side of the barrel probably, and it will tell you what the proper cartridge is. You never want an approximation. You never want to put several different cartridges will actually go in this 357 Magnum, but you don't want any other diameter. You want it to be an exact cartridge for what your gun is designed for, because we're talking about propellants and explosives here, and we're not going to take chances. You can go in to talk to someone at the gun shop, or like I said, you can call our friends at Georgia Arms and you can tell them what kind of gun you have, and they'll tell you what ammunition is proper. They probably make it, for that matter. If it's for a handgun or for a rifle, they probably make it. But you never want to substitute something, with only a couple of exceptions. A 357 Magnum will also chamber 38 specials, and you have to learn a little bit about guns, but they're the same diameter bullet. The 357 just a little bit longer. It's okay in that case. You can't substitute a 357 in a 38 special gun because it's too long. There are reasons for that. Another case is the 44 special and the 44 Magnum. You can shoot the special in the Magnum, but you can't shoot the Magnum in the special chambered gun, 44 special gun. So a couple of exceptions, but that's just talking about learning some basics about it. But you always want your ammunition to be sure that you have the proper cartridge for your gun, because if you don't, you risk tearing up the gun and maybe hurting yourself. So something simple, and again, we need periodically to touch on some of these very, very basic things, but you know, there are folks out there that don't know very much about guns, and that's what we're here for, is to try to give some education to everyone. And it's so important that we get more people involved in shooting and educate them as to what this is all about. And this is our little contribution today, but something we wanted to do that maybe will help someone.
Stay tuned for more of The Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Friends, here it is, great Georgia Arms ammunition. Notice these ballistic tip nodular bullets in this Georgia Arms ammunition. You see, this is equivalent to a box of 20 for only $7.95. Now, friends, that is a terrific price for essentially custom-loaded ammunition. Of course, for the plain full metal jacket, it is much less expensive. Here's another tremendous bag of Georgia Arms ammunition, 7mm Remington Magnum, 20 rounds, only $17.95, loaded with these premium Nosler ballistic tips. I tell you, this is custom ammunition at a discount price. Tell you what, friends, the good people at Georgia Arms do understand what's going on in this country. They understand how important our gun rights are, and they're supporting us on this project. The good news is you can get absolutely superior ammunition at discount prices, whether you have a handgun or a rifle. If you want to take that big hunt, you can afford to practice with your rifle as well as use that same ammunition on the hunt because they are so reasonably priced. These are some of the nicest people we have ever met in this business, bar none, and they're down in beautiful Villa Rica, Georgia. So please, friends, if you would, you can get a free catalog with a free phone call. That's as good as the deal gets. A free catalog, free phone call, 1-800-624-6861. Again, Georgia Arms, 1-800-624-6861. And please tell them you saw it here on our shooting show. Friends, we've got a couple of things that we really think are important this week. First of all, before I talk about this shotgun, you know, a lot of us are going out and it's summertime, or summer's on the way anyway. Here in Louisiana, we essentially have summer temperatures even in the spring like this. And a lot of us want to be carrying gear. Maybe we're going fishing, or maybe we're just going out to the range. Maybe we want to carry one of these larger handguns and plenty of spare ammunition. Well, a simple thing, when you carry a large handgun like this, it binds on your waist. If you do a lot of walking and things, it can really make you tired in a short time if you're all bound up here on your waist, because you need plenty of blood flow to your spine. You need to be comfortable. Well, something that we've talked about at varying times on the program, see these red suspenders? Of course, you don't have to get red, but what you can do is hook the suspenders onto your gun belt. And let me suggest, you can go down to Sears. They've got these Craftsman utility belts. They're a couple of inches wide, and a lot of the comfort that we're looking for in carrying anything on our waist is directly related to the quality and size of the belt. They've got real leather tool belts. They've also got some synthetics that snap together, but I think we gave $11 for. It's actually, they're pretty nice belts. They're plenty big, and you have plenty of space. One, you can carry stuff on them, you can hook your suspenders to them, and this takes up the weight of the gun and ammunition, so you're not carrying all this weight around your waist. You can walk around with it, and your shoulders help carry the weight of these larger guns. In fact, this would be a good idea. How many police officers have all of us seen that have so much stuff on their belt that they can hardly walk? Now think about it, much less run and chase somebody. In the case of police officers, this wouldn't be a bad idea to put their suspenders on their, say, on their gun belt underneath their bulletproof vest or underneath a Versalite jacket, because if you had to get in a scuffle with somebody, you wouldn't want them pulling at your suspenders, of course. But that's a reasonable idea, and it would make it so much less fatiguing. Out here on the farm, I carry a gun almost, in fact, all the time. And typically I'll carry this 41 Magnum, which is still a fairly large handgun, or sometimes this 44 or something else like that. And walking for literally miles out here on the farm, it will really tire you out. And we discovered years ago that the easiest way to do it is just get some tool belt suspenders. Got them at Walmart, got them at Sears, some of the other discount houses, wherever you may be in the country. And this is an option because we're talking about comfort out here and lessening our fatigue. So for under $15 or around $15, you can get a decent belt and the suspenders for that matter. And this is just a simple Uncle Mike's holster. They're inexpensive. They work. You know, they're durable. Whether I'm cutting the grass or something, it protects the gun pretty well. And of course you can put a more expensive, a nice leather holster or something, but these are really neat belts to do that with. So let me recommend that. We're always looking for economical ways that we can carry our guns and have them handy, so if we need to shoot them, we can. It's hard to shoot a gun if you don't have it with you, believe me. And out here, for example, we may run into a wild hog, we may have a rabid animal come up, and of course here in Louisiana, snakes or something. So you darn sure want to be able to get to it. If you got to run to your car, you may not be able to get that snake in this case. Something we want to show you. The good news is we managed to talk the fluid film people into selling us a little fluid film at a time, because we don't want to stock a whole lot. So now we have fluid film again. We had almost run out, and thankfully, friends, I tell you what, we have never seen anything like it. It's good on stainless steel. I tell you what, my Model 57 that I carry just about every day in blued steel, I ran an experiment here a while back. I didn't treat it with fluid film for about a month, and I was in and out of the rain. Of course, here in Louisiana, it's very humid. You're going to sweat. You pick it up, you're going to get your sweat all over it. And I tell you what, there's not a speck of rust on this gun. There was some on it when I got it, but there's not a speck of rust on it from the rough treatment that I give it out here as far as carrying. This fluid film is absolutely, we're getting reorders from people because they showed it to their neighbors and they said, my gosh, this is the greatest thing they've ever seen. It's good on your battery terminals, it's good on electronic equipment, it's good on leather, it's good on your shoes. It is superior, absolutely superior in protecting gunmetal. Better than anything we've ever seen. It's good for bicycle chains, for motorcycle chains. If you have some wet grass you have to cut, you can blow this up under the pan on your mower and it'll just blow the grass out. It's the darndest stuff we've ever seen, and thankfully we do appreciate the company working with us, helping us here on the shooting show, because we do make a little bit on this, not very much, but we make a little, and it certainly helps us stay on the air. But most of all, it's going to help you out there. So we'll sell you 2 of these large fluid film cans for $19.95, care of us here at the program. So yes, we do have fluid film again. Okay, I was looking through a magazine the other day and ran across a picture of this old bolt-action shotgun. And what impressed me about the picture, I said, wait a minute, that looks a lot like my father's old gun. And sure enough, I read the little piece there on it, and what we have, this is a J.C. Higgins bolt-action shotgun that my father got back sometime in the 50s, back when the law was more reasonable and you could order guns in the mail. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. Had less crime then than we do now. Okay, well, the recall notice is what this ad was in this magazine, and some of these guns, and we'll show you this in just a second, it's the 583.13 through 583.22, and the numbers right here on the breech, just on top of the bolt here. Some of these had some problems, and what would happen is there's a chance, according to what they told me, because they have an 800 number and I called them, there's a chance that the bolt could either come open or part of it fly back when the gun fired and hit you in the cheek or possibly in the eye. And Sears is doing a recall. Realize these were sold back in the 50s on some of these guns. Some of them are safe, but in fact, let's look at that 800 number right now on these J.C. Higgins bolt-action shotguns. We'll give you that 800 number. You may have one, and you certainly want to call in and check it. Now, friends, here it is. This is recall notice on the J.C. Higgins Model 10 bolt-action shotgun and 12 gauge. Model numbers 583.13 through 583.22. And you can call them at 1-800-817-9165. Again, 1-800-817-9165 if you have one of these old guns and you want to know if it's listed or not. Now then, friends, looking through my slightly cracked windshield, we've got exit 33 coming down Interstate 20 to go to Clark Custom Guns. And here we have the exit 33 heading west on Interstate 20. it'll be the same exit number, of course. Coming east, we'll take Highway 157 to the north. Here we go, it's the Houghton Fillmore exit. And we're going to go north on Highway 157. Oops, better stop and look here. Now then, on Highway 157, we've got to go about 3/4 of a mile due north. Actually, it looks like it's closer to 6/10 of a mile, and we'll come to a junction of Highway 157 and Highway 80. We have a traffic light here. We're going to go to the right. Highway 80 is a wide 4-lane. We're going to go down to the Clark Custom Guns, the shootout range down here. And it's about, I'm going to guess about 1.5 miles. Certainly no more than 2 miles. We'll do that right now. And we're continuing on Highway 80. Won't be long now. And friends, here we have the Clark Custom Gun entrance here out on Highway 80. My odometer is showing just a little under 2 miles from the stop sign there at, or the stoplight on Highway 80. It's a very nice entrance. And we'll look over here, and there we see Clark Custom Guns, the shootout range. Okay, it's a very nice winding entrance. They have somewhat off the road. Come on here through the gate, and just for fun, it's such a pretty drive through here, we'll just leave the camera on for a minute. Be sure I'm not exceeding the 15-mile-per-hour speed limit here. This is such a nice part of the country. It's a great place to have any sort of event out here at the shootout range at Clark Custom Guns. Well, let's see, we've got one more curve up here. Got some new building going on. Great. And what we have is certainly some of the residences out here, and the entrance to the shootout range here at Clark Custom Guns, where we will be having our second annual Fun Gun Weekend. And of course, they've got all kinds of shooting scenarios out here, and just looking, my friends, we're going to be here on the 16th and 17th, and there's of course the shed, a tremendous shooting facility here at Clark Custom Guns. And friends, walking into Clark Custom Guns, you'll see, of course, they have a tremendous display of firearms, and we have our good friend Matt Matthews here, who is your friendly service person and an official Clark Gun Shop head, chief cook and bottle washer, the man in charge of the up front. Really nice facility. I know you're all going to enjoy coming out for our weekend. You want to smile, Matt?
Thank you.
And one of the specials that Clark's is featuring, this is a Coonan Arms 357 Magnum, and this gun has been modified by the good folks here at Clark's. This is about an $1,100 value, and Matt, you got this on for what, $799? One of the more successful attempts at a 357 Magnum semi-automatic handgun, and this is on special here at Clark's. Ladies and gentlemen, we're watching Jim Clark Jr. hard at work. I can see the perspiration literally just steaming off the man.
I didn't have that air conditioner turned up so high.
And some of the good folks here at Clark's shop. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll recognize this is Kay Clark Michalik, and of course she'll be shooting for us. And Kay, would you like to add a word here on our Clark Custom Guns home video today?
Certainly. We've got lots of fun stuff happening for Fun Gun Weekend. Hope everyone can make it. Come join us for a fun gun weekend.
Friends, we have actually caught.
Is that a still camera or is that
No, sir. This is live, going on air. We have actually caught Jim Clark Sr. back here at work. Looks like he's loading some shotgun shells, actually. And he'll certainly be here on our Fun Gun Weekend. We encourage everyone who can to get by and visit Mr. Clark. He is one of the few living legends. Recognize our good friend Jerry Michelik. He'll certainly be doing an exhibition. Jerry, you will be shooting your revolver, among other things, on the weekend, right?
Right. We're gonna play around a little bit with some Smith & Wesson revolvers and some of the semi-auto pistols. So it'll be a good time.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station. Now, friends, here it is. This is the great 1919 Browning converted to semi-automatic from the good people at NWI. This is your chance to own a real piece of history. They're very collectible. They're also a lot of fun to own and shoot, and very reasonably priced, certainly for what you get. The 1919 Browning is from NWI. That phone number, area 503-429-5001. They also have the ammunition special still going on. 30-06 ammunition, only 18 cents a round, surplus in the belt. So give them a call today. NWI for the great 1919 Browning conversion. Also remember, they have the A6 conversion with the shoulder stock and the bipod, but these are tremendous pieces of history, also great shooters. So give them a call today, the 1919 Browning from NWI, area 503-429-5001.
And hold the phone, stop the presses, friends. They now are making the 50 Browning available, and just picture the gun you're looking at here, just about twice as big with that gigantic 50 Browning cartridge. Trust me on this one, friends. These guns will not be available forever. If the Clintonians have their way, they'd sure like to take them away right now. But you still can get them, and realize for every gun that NWI sells on our program, they will donate an extra $300 toward keeping us on the air. So if you're interested in the 1919 Brownings, the A4 or A6, or the new 50 Browning semi-automatic conversion, give them a call, area 503-429-5001. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're certainly appreciative of you folks being here with us. And again, we want to say we appreciate all you internet viewers. This is a major advancement for us, getting on the internet, and we really appreciate the friends of our project that are doing this for us. Realize I'm joined here by my good friend Leroy Scott. Sir, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Johnny, I think.
Well, you look nice. You just came back, had a nice lunch, I think, and this afternoon we have a lot of things to talk about. I will say that no one has bought our Dan Wesson gun yet, and we still have it for sale, number 3, because we'd like to raise that $10,000, and hopefully if someone would like to purchase our Dan Wesson Shootin' Show number 3, it is for sale, and we'd also like the option of buying it back from you if that would be possible, if someone would buy it. We have a lot of things we're going to be talking about here, and so many things we're just going to try and touch on some high spots here. But you know, Judge, we have said, you and I both talked about, when Bill Clinton was elected, you know, we quoted Jeff Cooper saying that might have been America's attempt at suicide. We don't know if we've succeeded. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, friends,
Damn near succeeded.
well, Bill Clinton and his cronies have sold the communist Chinese missile technology. Do you realize that before Clinton allowed the sale, incidentally, the company that made the guidance system for the Chinese missiles, as I understand it, was the single largest contributor to the Democratic National Committee on behalf of Bill Clinton. Now the Chinese have, and this has been in the Washington Times, it's been all over the news sources, the Chinese have nuclear missiles pointed, aimed at, and can deliver them now to cities in North America, which means cities in the United States. And a lot of people, and you've heard people say this, Judge, I'm sure, say, well, what difference does it make? Who's president? He can't. Let me tell you what, friends, he can do a lot, can't he, Judge?
Who, the president?
Yes.
Of course he can do a lot.
And, you know,
The fact is he can do too damn much.
well, that's the problem, friends. Just like PDD 25, which will subordinate the United States military to control by the United Nations if they so deem an emergency. They have sold us out, friends. How long have we been saying this the whole time? Speaking of the United Nations, you had something you want to add on that, didn't you?
Yeah, I got something I want to add about the United Nations. The UN, Tanya Mataska, the executive director of the Institute for Legislative Action of the NRA, attended a meeting in Vienna of the United Nations, and she's fussing about the United Nations not being an open organization, with having meetings, closed-door meetings, and nobody find out what goes on. In this one, it's on the subject of gun control, and this is what the United Nations proposes. They are wanting, first they want hunters to store their firearms in sporting clubs. They want firearms collectors to only have firearms that have been rendered non-functional.
We're talking worldwide. This is what they have in mind.
Yeah. And requiring owners to establish a need for possessing their property, and for hunters to obtain insurance before hunting. Actually, a complete discouragement of firearms ownership. Now let me tell you what happened. Here's a newspaper clipping that I saw a couple of days ago. This is the outfit, this is the organization, the UN, that wants to disarm us. And here we are with the Secretary General of the United Nations,
Kofi Annan, yep,
having knowledge of and knew about the how do you pronounce it? Rwanda. Their plans for genocide, in which some 300,000 people were killed.
Well, it said at least 500,000, probably a million, actually. This newspaper article has actually downplayed the numbers, but still, suppose it was just 300,000 or 500,000.
Well, just 300,000, 500,000, it depends on if you're among them.
That's right.
Now, here is the problem. This is the organization that wants to disarm us.
And he knew about this plan for genocide in Rwanda, whereas somewhere they're talking about between 500,000 and 1 million people were killed, mostly with machetes, by the way. And this is the same bunch who wants to disarm all of us. That's you and me, friends, and the judge here, all of us.
Well, I'm pretty unhappy about it. I haven't been a fan of the United Nations for a long time. I'm even less of a fan now.
We want to run a quick commercial for some friends of ours up in Virginia, Springfield, Virginia, actually. And we heard someone quote saying Gun Owners of America made the NRA look like a liberal interest organization.
Well, as a matter of fact, they probably are.
And
now, understand, I think the NRA is important, but I think Gun Owners of America is more important.
well, Gun Owners of America doesn't see any reason why we should compromise. And one of the things in Larry's newsletter here, they're talking about the instant check regulations, which are going into effect in November. Realize, friends, that whatever you buy, whatever kind of gun, shotgun, .22 rifle, handgun, whatever else, come November with the instant check situation, Judge, we're going to all have to have permission to buy that.
Well, I'm already supplied.
Well, friends, we would say if you want anything and you really do want it, I wouldn't put it off. I'd try and buy guns and ammunition both before November of this year, because this is coming. See, this is one of those nasty little tricks that was not well publicized, and gun owners of America had stood against the instant check from the very beginning, didn't they, Judge?
Yes, it did.
And those of you that really want to join a no-nonsense, go after them gun owner organization, we can certainly recommend Gun Owners of America as far as being, we think, the best lobbying organization out there. And I've got their phone number here. Let me give it to you now. It's area 703-321-8585. Again, Gun Owners of America. It's only $20 a year to belong. You get their newsletter, and they're actually doing something. Instead of building buildings and paying bureaucracies, they're actually doing something. And that number again is area 703-321-8585. And this commercial for Gun Owners of America was purchased by Brooks Communications in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And Larry and certainly we want to extend a vote of thanks to the good folks at Brooks Communications out there. If you have communications needs and you're in Albuquerque, well, please remember our friends at Brooks Communications. Anyway, very disturbing things, friends. And Judge, like you and I have been talking on the program, on our radio show and all, now that the Chinese, see, they don't have the same ethical standards that most of the rest of the world does, much less that we have here. While we've been destroying nuclear missiles, while we have been gutting our military, the Chinese has been building ours. I heard from someone recently who was in a position to know, Judge, do you know what position we here in the United States hold as far as militaries according to a worldwide scale? Would you make a guess who's number one?
Well, the Chinese are probably number one.
Chinese are number one. You know what position we as the United States under the Clintonian regime, you know what position we're in? Would you like to guess?
Maybe third.
How about number 8? And friends, we want to recognize our support group, Custom Leatherwork and Saddlery, all kinds of leatherwork there in Denham Springs, Louisiana. Their number is area 504-667-9225. And Flying Horse Enterprises, they have all kinds of artwork there on the internet. You can find them at www.flyinghorse.net. Our good friend Wayne Bearden at Holland Guard Service there in Meridian, Mississippi, they have all kinds of security services they offer there. Their number is area 601-644-3950. And our good friend Bruce Warren does all kinds of work on pistols and revolvers. He's in East Leroy, Michigan. His number is area 616-729-5508. And we have our friends at Camouflage Technologies. They have all kinds of patterns for painting gun stocks. Their number is area 909-674-6488. And we have our friend James Calhoun. He makes custom 22 and 17 caliber bullets. His number is area 406-395-4079. And our good friend Dennis Crocker, he's a firearms instructor there in South Carolina, gives all kinds of handgun instruction. His number is area 864-587-8722. Friends, we have run out of time on today's program. We look forward to seeing you on the next show.